Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns, and I thought I would tell you a little bit about what's gone on with me this week. As you know, Thomas had his chemo and he also had his iron infusion. I had the craft fair, and then we went to the Penns Valley Fiber Festival. Now, let's talk about my craft fair. It was okay. I did okay. I did about $100 worth of sales, so I didn't figure it was too bad. What I found interesting is that the item that sold the most was the gripper pads that I make. And they're just basically square with shelf liner, either, this kind of shelf liner or this one. And those sold better than everything else. I sold a couple of bowl cozies. I sold some scrubbies, my round scrubbies like Creative Grandma, her pattern, and I will link that down below. Those I had 2 left. And then as I was coming in, lady next door said something about it, so I gave her one. And so I had 1 left, and I'm going to use it. But did okay. Some of the other things that I took were, I took a couple of tote bags and some facial scrubbies. Only sold 1 package of facial scrubbies. Took hats. No hats sold whatsoever. Everybody was like, it's too soon for winter. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. This is a group of ladies that are all in designer clothes and designer handbags, but they want anything and everything under $5. Battery died. That's always great for something, right? Anyway, what I was saying is I'd taken some totes, and I had one lady walk up to me and ask me about the tote. I told her they're $25, and she said to me, well, do you think I could have it? Would you let me have it for $5? And I kind of looked at her and I said, no, that won't even cover the cost of the material, let alone the interfacing that's in it or the straps. But I hear Dollar Tree has opened up. They're now selling things for $1.25. You might be able to get something that you're looking for there. Now, the lady, I knew her, which is why I said that to her. Because she's always wanting to get things as cheap as she can. And, basically I'm like, no, not going to happen. So I think I did okay for a first time in-person craft fair. I've done online vendor things, and they do okay, But I thought it was rather funny, all these women, high dollar, and just wanting everything as cheap as they could get it. And behind me, where I was at, there was a couple that they were selling beautiful carved wooden ornaments, plaques, boxes, those kind of things. I asked how they did, and he told me that they sold 1 box and 20 ornaments. No, 10 ornaments. 1 box, 10 ornaments. And the ornaments were $2 a piece. Now, the lady that had quilts and table runners, those kind of things, she was doing a brisk business. My partner in crime, Jerry, did, I think, fairly well for her. I had told her the night before she needed to raise her prices of her dishcloths and her scrubbies from $2 to $3. She did that, and they sold just fine, like they normally did. So, she had a good showing, and that's the whole thing. This was maybe 110 women that were at this, so I didn't really expect a lot. So I was okay with that. Now, let's move on to the Penns Valley Fiber Festival. When we walked in, you had to have a mask on at all times unless you were eating or drinking, and that was fine. And the way that is it's in Spring Mills, Pennsylvania, and it's in the old one of the old schools. I don't think it was a high school. I think it was a middle school. But when you first walked in, you walk in the doors here. Off to the right was the old gymnasium. They had probably 6 vendors there. And then you walked all the way to the other end of the building, and there were 2 classrooms where they had 3 or 4 vendors in each room. So there were about 12 people, I believe, at this fair. Let me see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There were 13 vendors there. So it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed walking through. It's the first time I've been to the Penns Valley Fiber Festival. They did have a couple people with sheep and then a couple of alpaca farms. All they had was alpaca. And of course I looked. And as you went through, you had these little door prizes that you would get a sticker from each one of those vendors to enter your name in for the prizes. They were prize baskets. I don't know if they've picked those or not. And you didn't have to be present to win. So it was rather interesting. Now, what I found interesting is there were 5 different vendors that had like double-pointed needle cases, project bags. So, of course, I'm looking at the project bags. And what I noticed is every one of them didn't have any interfacing. It was just, you know, the inner fabric and the outer fabric. And they were selling those bags for like $35 for little bags. So, you know, I was like, good on those folks. You know, they did a great job with their things. And if they're getting that price, good for them. But I did go through and I found a vendor that had a couple of items that I got. And I will show you those. And this is one of the items I got. I got an enamel pin. And this is Amy's Trinket shop. And she is on Etsy. So she has that yarn. And I haven't looked at her website yet. But I will leave a link down below. She had those pins and then she had yarn. And I was looking through the yarn and there were 3 skeins that I found that I just absolutely loved. And they are Moonstone DK, 100% superwash merino. It's an 8-ply chain construction, 273 yards and 100 grams. And it had a little note on the bottom, color not going to Rhinebeck 2021, which is fine. There it is. And there were 2. And there were 3. So Jane got 3 of them. And I saw them in the racks and I was like, oh, I love those. So I picked those up and off I went. And as I was leaving, I noticed there was a pink bag and it had another one. So I went back and got the other one. So I have a total of, what does that make that? 273 yards, close to 1,200 yards of DK, and I am in love with this yarn. This yarn is from Dye Lot Studio. It's hand-dyed yarn, and it gives you the instructions how to handle it. But yeah, I just fell in love, and I have an idea of what I want to do with that, with some of those other yarns that I had. And I had thought at first I would use a yarn. I had a yarn that was a light pink color that I would use in between those colors, but it's linen, so I'm not going to use that. And then I got some Happy Mail. Now this Happy Mail is actually a purchase. And it comes from, let me see if I can find the card. It actually comes from loopsandbee.com. And they have a Facebook group that is called the Yarn Hive by Loops and Bee on Facebook. And they ask you to post a photo in the group of the items that you made using their products. Now, you're going to ask what I got there, and I'm going to show you. I got these. Let me open this up. This is for the knitting machine. And these are basically nice little clamps that you can actually put into your table or your bench, or whatever you're using, and then you can use those on your feet of your project. Now, I was looking for something that was like the clamps that the adding machine has, and there's a company that has those, but they're completely out of stock right now. So I thought, you know, I'll get these and try these. And they give you great instructions about how to set it up on your table or your TV tray or your workbench or whatever you're doing, how to go about doing it. And then, of course, I got the set that had the drill bit in it. Why? Although I have a drill, a hand drill, I had teenage sons that ruined those drills bits, and they basically lost every one of those drill bits. How did they ruin it? Mother had an old dryer. It worked fine, except the handle on it had come out and you couldn't find a replacement. And so there was this sharp metal opening where the handle went. So I'd put it out in the backyard, purchased a new dryer. I had a friend who said she'd be interested in getting it. So when I brought her over to the house to actually pick it up, my boys had taken those drills and had drilled holes all the way through the outer part of the machine. Well, the dryer still worked. She did take it anyway. And her husband decorated it up, I think, with some plywood around it or something on the side, so it wasn't that noticeable. And I just gave her the dryer. She was going to buy it from me, but I just gave it to her at that point because I felt so bad. And then I got some more Happy Mail. And this comes from Jeanette Whitson. And she says, Merry Christmas. And it came Saturday, Jeanette. She said, she told me it's supposed to come, oh my God, it's supposed to come Monday, but it came Saturday. She included a little card, Christmas card. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm going to read it, but I'm going to cry. Dearest Jane, please accept this prayer shawl I made for you. It's not perfect, but neither is life. And they think that correct. I just made it up and said prayers for you and your husband as I worked. Consider it a long-distance hug from a friend far away. Thank you, Jeanette. Since it's cold now, I hope it brings you warmth and comfort on cold days and stressful days. Nothing but love is in this shawl, made just for you. I so appreciate your videos and your beautiful sewing skills. I appreciate you. And Jeanette, I appreciate you A lot. You have no idea. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and she makes me smile every day. I hope you have a wonderful day. I also hope you and your husband have a wonderful, blessed Christmas. Don't apologize for the ancient card, because I keep all my cards. Ancient and everything. This is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. Thank you, Jeanette. It's a wonderful hug. And it's beautiful. My favorite colors. Okay. I have shout outs for you. Let me regroup here a minute, okay? Alright, I'm back. That was a few minutes of Ogie crying. Shout outs. We have quite a few. But you don't expect less, do you? First one is the Regretful Yarn Addict. This is Kim. She does a lot of how-tos and unboxings. And she's not really regretful about the fact that she's a yarn addict. It's mostly about the yarn she leaves behind. And next there is AJ's Personal Touch. And this is Ann Jeanette. She is a crochet tech editor. Also a crocheter. She shows you some how-tos. So check out Ann Jeanette. And if you need patterns and need to be tech edited, send them her way. Then there is Not the End, in parentheses, crochet. Now Donna calls herself a mood crocheter, and she does how-tos. And of course, I'm going to give another shout out to Doris, because I think she was trying to reach a certain amount to be able to use her community page, even though she doesn't do videos. So that's Doris at Rose Cottage Studio. Then there is Susanna, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Biaye. And she has how-tos on her channel. Then there is Crafty Crochet Castle. This is Janilla, and she shows you a lot of how-tos. Great videos. Then there is CraftyCrochetCorner. This is Jenny. Now Jenny has a little bit of everything. She has cooking, I think gardening, all kinds of other crafts. She does some lives while she's doing those, so check her out. Then there is Annie's Crafts, and she just has little snippet videos, things that she's crocheting, so hopefully she'll come up and show us a little more. Then there is, now I found this fellow, I think about a year ago, but then there were no more videos. He recently put out a couple of videos finishing some items that he had shown you how to do with crochet, and they're all about the jack-o'-lantern, making a baby blanket, jack-o'-lantern, then making some pumpkins, those kind of things. And that is Crochet with Dominick. So he's just recently restarted his channel, so check him out. Then there is Sharon at Cuppy's Crochet, and she has a lot of how-tos as well. Then there is Candid Crochet, and there are how-tos at her channel as well. This next channel, she blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. This is Wellina Crochets, and she has a love of, now when I first saw it, at first I thought it was Gigi, if Gigi made it. But I realized that's not Gigi. But Willena she made some beautiful Halloween outfits. And you really need to go see those Halloween makes that she did. A lot of her videos are somewhere between 15 to maybe 20 or 30 minutes. But she shows you what she's making as she goes along. She makes a lot of wearables. But man, has she got some fantastic ideas, mixing this, mixing that, and doing certain things. They're stunning. You need to go see Wellina's Crochets. Alright, that's it for the shout-outs. That's it for this. I will see you again soon for the regular podcast. And we'll get into a little what intonation, because there's a little bit there. Alright guys, I'll see you guys again soon. Please remember to be kind, love one another, and thank you, Jeanette. Once again, this is the best hug I could ever get. Bye.